welcome. Today we are going to be working on FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. I'm sure you already knew that, but anyway, we're going to be looking at that, which is quite applicable considering there are a few people who did not make today's session. So they may be having some FOMO, although hopefully they know that they will be able to still get the recording. And yeah, and this will probably make more sense to them because they're getting better at managing their minds and their thoughts. So let's start off with what is FOMO. So as we've said before, it is the fear of missing out, but it is a psychological phenomenon where someone feels anxiety or insecurity over the possibility of missing out on something exciting, interesting, or it might be rewarding, especially something that others seem to be enjoying. So often it has to have that perception that we have to have thought something first. So psychologically, it has to be a thought in our mind. There we go. Okay, someone else is doing something that we want to be doing, or something, or there is that missing out kind of idea. So if we don't know something's on, or if we don't feel like there's a particular value that we're going to be getting from it, or if we don't think that there's that basically that there's something that we're going to miss out on, then we're not going to feel that FOMO. We're not going to feel that fear of actually missing out. So it's a really not a huge term, but it's also something that I think most of us, if not all of us, have experienced at some time. So it's a kind of social comparison because it's going, I want to be here or I want to experience that instead of experiencing what I'm experiencing now. So there's got to be some kind of concept about the idea that I want that, but I got this. And so without that comparison, then there's less friction. So if we didn't have something to compare to because we're actually doing it, so if we're in the group, then we're not going to have that fear of missing out. And it's tied to that basic need of belonging, social connection, and status. So sometimes it might be one or the other or all three. We might want to belong to a particular group of people and we're the only one that aren't there. So we're comparing how everybody else is there compared to us being not there. It might be that we want to belong to 3 or 4 groups at the same time. We had to choose and we're in this one, but not in that one. And we still can have that sense of being connected with the people that we're with, but also feeling like we're missing out on this other particular group as well. And that's because of those social connections anyway that we have, where we want to make sure that we're not missing out on what is happening or keeping up with the Joneses or what's going on with another particular group. And we have that fear of kind of being left out or not being able to keep up with everybody else. And it can happen in lots of different things. It can happen in sports games, if you miss a game or something like that. It can happen with like university or schools or work colleague situations. It can happen with events. It can also happen with people we don't even necessarily know, but we want to be like that. So we'll go through some scenarios in a moment. It could also be linked to loss aversion. So loss aversion is the idea that missing out on something feels worse than gaining something new. So if we feel like we should be having something, that should kind of idea on us going to be missing out. That pain that comes with that is also a sense of FOMO as well. So it might not even be something that's actually physically happening. It might be something that's only happening in our head. So we might think that somebody else has something, but they don't. Oh, my internet is unstable. Hopefully that's not affecting my recording. Are we still doing good? A little bit? Is it jumpy a bit? Is it?
It glitched for just a second, but you're back now.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it sorts itself out. So here's some examples. I've got a couple of examples to go through, but here's some examples of FOMO. So one of the first ones is the comparison trap, which we were talking about. So you see others hitting milestones or getting promotions or launching businesses or traveling, etc. They might be able to meditate at 5 a.m. They might be morning people and you're jealous because you always sleep in, or they might be evening people and out partying and you get too tired and you might have that feeling. And you might have those ideas that I'm falling behind, or everyone else is improving except me, or I need to do more, etc. And so you can often have that comparison trap to what somebody else is doing, or even your ideal person would be doing. And you have that kind of feeling of anxiety, self-doubt, chasing what looks good instead of what aligns with your personal goals. So, and even if it does, sometimes you've got personal goals that you want to achieve this, and this, but you're not achieving all of those, and you see someone else who's doing what you wish you were doing, and you have that comparison trap. And then that creates that self-doubt. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe I'm no good. All those kind of voices that go on in our head as a result of FOMO. Another example is that we may get scattered focus. So FOMO can drive people to sign up for too many courses, books, workshops, or habits. And I know that I can imagine that there'd be a certain person here smiling, going, yeah, I know somebody who does that a lot, which would be me. I do that a lot, and other people do too, right? They think that they'll miss out on that one thing that could change everything. And, so you got things like signing up for the next quick fix program. It's like we get hooked all the time by these reels that pop in and go, lose weight like this way, or just you've been doing it wrong this whole time, it's actually this way. And then all of a sudden we're like, what if we have been doing it wrong? Now we're going to miss out on that particular thing, so maybe we'll try that. And then it's just another habit and another program that we get into, and it's just literally because we've got this scattered focus, and we say, oh, we've tried all these programs, but yet we never really actually try the programs we buy, because we start with that and then we get this FOMO that we're going to want to do something else, and we try another thing, then we try another thing, we try another thing. We never actually stick, or we often don't stick to that one particular program. Same thing with books, right? You just have to look at my bookshelf. How many books are there that I've bought that I'm going to read them, and then they go straight on the shelf and then they never get read. So it's that idea of that scattered focus, because this book may have the answer that I needed. This book might have exactly what I need. I can do so many things with that, blah, blah, blah. All right. And it could be like that you try new hobbies all the time, because if I find this hobby and I do this is going to give me some fulfillment, or I'm going to have something more I can train people on, or etc. So a lot of coaches do this in the coaching world, where they want another certificate underneath their belt. If I have another certificate, then I'll be valued, or then I'll be accepted, or if I have, etc. They end up doing more and more and more in order to try to satisfy a particular need that they have. And the results in this case end up being things like you only get that shallow learning, don't ever get kind of the deep understanding, you burn out because you're doing too many things, and then there's less progress because you're only doing little bites of everything rather than actually sinking right in and getting it completed. So that's the second one. Here's another one. So decision paralysis. So decision paralysis is where we get stuck. We're kind of fear of choosing the wrong path, so we do nothing. We sit there and we go, well, I kind of want to do this, but maybe I want to do this, and I think, this way, or I don't know which way, so we just stay stuck and we don't do anything. We just stay in that, but what if I do this? Then I might miss out on that. But if I do that, I might, and so we stay stuck. Things like, what if I commit to this and miss a better opportunity, or should I pivot, but what if this doesn't work, or what if I'm already too late, things like that. Like we just want to do something, but we're not sure, and then we go back to that idea that, well, it's too late now because somebody else has done it, and so we don't even bother trying, and we really get into that state of, the resulting is that we get into a state of inaction disguised as research or overthinking. And so we often use that term like, I just overthinking all this. I'm overcomplicating this thing. And it's a branch of FOMO, because we think that there is a right answer or there is a correct path. And so that fear of missing out is holding us back from making a decision and just giving it a go, and just going with it anyway, and being prepared to miss out in order to learn or gain something anyway in return. Another example of FOMO is overcommitting. So saying yes to too many things out of fear of missing out on a growth or a recognition or a connection. It's like, well, it's like being asked to do something and going, well, I said yes to them, but I didn't say yes to them, so I might miss out, or they might like me more because I said yes to them, but I didn't say yes to them, so now I have to say yes to them. It's like, because I said yes to that, um, like even with my 5 kids, it's like, well, if I say yes to one kid, do I have to say yes to the other 4 kids because the other 4 kids might feel like they're missing out, etc. So it's like, well, that's not necessarily true, but we've got to kind of think about, well, why are we wanting to connect to all of these particular things, and what are the reasons and the purposes that we're doing it? So you might say things like, if I don't say yes to this, they'll forget about me, or what if this opportunity never comes up again? So I'm going to just say yes to everything. And we're even encouraged to say that, they say yes and then work out how later. Well, that's okay for most people that are staying in that indecisive state. But for people who are just saying yes to so many things because of everything they've been offered, it's just impossible to be able to carry that burden. What if someone else does it and steals my idea? Might be another thought, like, so I'm just going to have to do everything. But in the end, we don't really do it well anyway, because we burn out, or we create that resentment, and we just end up hating the thing that we want to be doing, in a sense. And then we end up with a diluted focus. We don't have a clear vision, we don't have a clear path, and we're scattered. And we don't kind of have that deep furrow of pathway that we want to be going on. Another example is the imposter syndrome when it's amplified. So seeing others' achievements, and when they say, "Hey, look at me! I've just got this certificate," or "Look at me! I've reached my goal weight," or "Look at me! I can run a marathon or do 20,000 steps," or etc. When we see that and we're like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I was like that. I wish any of the wish I, kind of statements is kind of where they fits. It's like, everyone else is doing so much better than me. I wish I could do this, or I should be further along by now. And we kind of beat ourselves up with the fact that if you were better, or if you were good enough, or if you were these particular things, then we would be in a better state. And so it's almost like a sedentary kind of depressed version of FOMO, because it's like, well, I'm no good, I'm useless, and because I have this, instead of kind of, it's not kind of an apathy of missing out, in a sense, like more than a fear per se, but it is underlying that apathy is actually that fear that you aren't measured up enough, etc. So the results are, you start performing or overcompensating, which most of us don't. Most of us do the opposite, actually. We undercompensate, and you lose touch with your authentic pace and your purpose. So we try overly hard or underly hard, and then we don't get anywhere. So it's like revving that car on full throttle, but not putting it into gear, or not even getting in the car to start because you've already failed before you even start. So you've got those kind of different ways. So there's some examples. I'm sure there's many other examples of FOMO that you can think of as well, but they're just a few to kind of understand the meaning of it a bit more. Now, if we want to flip our FOMO, then we have to turn our panic into purpose. So the idea is to go, what is it, first of all, obviously, what is it that's causing us to have that FOMO? So identifying out FOMO and then flipping it into something else. So we can do that a number of ways. But first step is to turn our FOMO into curiosity. So get curious, as Julie Christina would say, get curious, everybody, get curious, right? So instead of letting it create panic, use it as a signal. So what am I really craving here? What's really going on? What do I actually happening inside me? What am I feeling like I'm missing out on? Or what is it that's creating this emotion inside me? It often has meanings of connection, growth, or contribution. What am I wanting that's not being presented here? So just going, oh, maybe I didn't get invited to that birthday party, and it's because I really want to belong and fit in with that particular group of people. Okay, so now I understand what it is that I'm wanting and craving here, is that wanting to connect and wanting to belong. So just getting curious. And then practice JOMO, right? So instead of having a fear of missing out, think about the joy of missing out. So intentionally put yourself into a position where you opt out of the things that aren't aligned. So when you recognize and go, well, I feel like they're doing really successful because they're doing another program and I wish I was doing that program. Instead, we're going to take the joy in the missing out of what they're doing. So um, I'm so happy that they're doing that particular program and I can't wait to hear about it. But I'm really enjoying what I'm doing on my pathway. And this pathway is really for me. And I'm going to celebrate that joy and enjoy it. So instead of jumping on the latest productivity trend, or stick with what works for you. Stick to your path. Be aligned and committed and standing up for yourself, which builds that confidence and that commitment that we feel like we are on a steady path and we are heading towards a goal and we are not being swayed and we are not being tempted by the glossy things, the shiny things in the windows. We're just sticking to our purpose. And so when other things come up where people might go and have a party or enjoy things and we're like, no, we already said we're going to be going and doing this particular thing, then focusing on that and going, okay, no, I can stick to my plan and do what I said I was going to do because I know my purpose is straight and I'm going to use my JOMO. Another way that you can do it, or the next step, is to understand your why. And I'm still a little stuck on this one. So if anyone has any tips on how to do that one, please help me out. But having that really strong personal values and vision set so you know why you're doing what you're doing will help you stay on the straight and narrow because you know you're going towards something, you know where you're heading, and you're going to have less temptations to feel that FOMO. And because you're more clear and direct, you're going to have that more of the JOMO because you're going to go, you know what? I know you want to be rough playing and doing things with other people. However, we made this commitment that we're walking this path and we're going to stick to this path. So you've got a vision and a direction that you're working on. And then therefore you can say things like, I'm not behind, I'm on my own path. And because we have a very clear path that we're lining along, we can look back over that path and see how far we've come because we've started off from back where we made the decision, what we're going to do, to now getting to where we are, where we're moving towards something and we can see the progress a lot better. If we don't have a goal mark or a signal or a pathway, then when we look back, we really don't know where we've been because there is no path. It's just like we know we've got better somehow. We know we've progressed, but we don't know where we've come from so clearly. So having that vision and having, say, for instance, something as simple as I'm going to lose 10 kilos of weight, right? That's my goal. I'm going to stick to it. This is my focus. I want to get there. As you look back, you can go, well, I started off at 100. So I know now I'm here. And I started there. Whereas we can get to this stage where I've got to lose another 10 kilos. I've got to lose another 10 kilos. I've got to, and we're never got kind of clear enough with where we're going. And then we don't even know the reason why. Because if we don't have a strong enough reason to go, well, the reason I'm losing weight is because I want to feel really good about myself. So if we've got that strong enough vision about why we're doing the particular thing we're doing, then it keeps us more focused and visual on that. Fourth step, using your FOMO as fuel. So you've got to be careful with this one. And I've just put that little bracket in there for carefully because we do have to be careful about how we use our FOMO as fuel. So it can be a little bit motivating. So if seeing others succeed, it can kick you up the backside and say, come on, you said you were going to do this, now do it. Right? You're feeling like you're missing out because you are missing out. This is a reminder and a little kick up the pants to go, keep on the track, get back onto it, get back on that bike, get back on that treadmill, get back into those social services, social networks, get back into that study, get back into doing what you're supposed to be doing, realign to your focus again. So sometimes that FOMO can be like, well, what is it that's nagging at me? I'm feeling like I'm falling behind. Okay, maybe you are falling behind. Maybe you do need to pick up your pace. So you can use your FOMO as actually an inspiration and a motivation to be finding things. Or maybe you are sensing that you're feeling like you're not belonging, you're not connected because you aren't. Maybe you're becoming that recluse person who's not socializing and not getting out there. So ask yourself, what's one small step that I can take today that's going to help my FOMO, that's going to actually feed my need. Hopefully this is resonating with you all. So here's some questions for you to consider. And this is one where we're going to pause and go through these in a moment. But ask yourself these questions. And I'm probably going to pause the recording here for a moment. And we're going to go through these questions together in the group. And then we'll come back and I've got some slides that basically answer each of these questions as well. So I'm going to pause the recording for a minute. We are recording again. So we just went through these questions, and I went through these questions myself as well, and we had a look at them. So we're just going to break them down just quickly for a little bit, but one by one we're going to go through them. So the first one, let's see, next slide. What have I been tempted to start or chase recently? Was it from excitement or from fear of missing out? So this one here, if you answered from fear, or interestingly, I was like excitement. It's like excitement, but it's like, is it a genuine excitement, or isn't it just the excitement of going, oh yeah, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. And if we don't know why we want more, then is it a genuine excitement? That's the question, right? If we know why we want the excitement, then maybe that is the excitement. Excitement can be a motivator, and motivation is a good thing, right? And so therefore, you know, if we think we're going to miss out on excitement, then that's the fear of missing out again, right? So just be really careful about working out what it is, because here what it does reveal is you may be acting from a place of insecurity, scarcity, or comparison. It's like, I want to experience what I think is excitement because I'm not experiencing it now, so therefore want more of what I'm not getting. Whereas if we go, I'm adding to what I'm already getting, and I know that this will give me excitement, then we're already confident that we're going to get those things. Therefore, we're working towards it anyway, so we wouldn't be missing out on it, because what somebody else has, or what we might have gained by doing that particular thing, we would be gaining anyway already. It would be part of our life. So for instance, if we want to be traveling, for instance, right, and we have this fear of missing out because everybody else is traveling and we're not, well, it's going, well, what would I get if I was traveling? Well, if I was traveling, I'd be getting new discoveries, and I'd be getting finding places to go. Well, I can still do that from here. I can still plan where I want to be going next, and I can still plan what I want to be discovering and what I want to do with my life. And so when I start to think about those things, I can go, okay, now I'm looking for understanding of myself and what it is that I'm really driving and thriving towards. And I can start to go, okay, well, what is it that if I had excitement, it would give me? So we might be looking towards that. That's one thing. Or you might be looking for a quick external validation rather than deep fulfillment. Maybe it's not that you feel like you're missing out on that particular thing, but you want them or that particular thing to bring you along, or to think about you, or to consider you, or to make or to go, I want you with me. Or it's that need for wanting to be needed kind of thing that may be driving you as well. So that is kind of two different things in that box there. And so it's like, well, which one is it? What is it that I'm really craving from inside? What is it, the thing that's the motivator of this particular situation? So ask yourself, what if I remove that particular fear of missing out? Would I still want it? So if I didn't have that fear of they're off on an adventure, you know, now you here, Catherine, you can just zap, you're in that position with them and you can be there. I'm like, would I really want to be there? I don't actually know if I want to be there. I'd be missing out on something else here, or I would probably want to be at a different place or a different visit. You know, where is it that I actually want to be, and what is it that I'm hoping to gain if I was in that particular situation? And what would I choose if I trusted I was already on the right path? So if I knew that whatever the thing is that I'm think I'm missing out on that I'm actually working on, or I'm actually receiving right now. I am still getting what I am. So for instance, me, sense of learning and adventure, I am on that path. I am a green and growing master machine. I am like so connected with nature and just the cycle of life. And we talked about before the season of life, right? It's like just moving and growing and expanding and exploring, and those things just inspire me, and so they give me energy and they give me revitalization. And so like knowing that I'm thinking somebody else might be getting more than me and they've got a bigger tap to draw from. It's like, no, Catherine, stay in your lane. You're on the right track. You've got the vein. Just follow it along. Keep going, keep plodding, because you are discovering things about yourself every day. So it's just that the pain can feel hard because it's a negative thing. It pushes you down. It's like, what if I'm missing out? What if I didn't have that? What if they're all negative things? It's like, flip it up and bring it to a positive and go, yes, but I have this and I have this and I've got this and I'm doing this. So it's like, keep bringing yourself up and rising. Question 2 was, when I see someone else succeeding, what story do I tell myself? And you might be telling yourself in this situation, I'm beyond, I'm behind, I'm not good enough, I'm doing it wrong, I don't matter, I don't, you know, what I don't have what they have, I don't, I I don't have enough, I don't give enough, I don't, whatever, those type of things, right? So what it's actually revealing is you're possibly internalizing others' success as a judgment on your worth. So when you see other people doing certain things or experiencing certain things, we juxtapose it or reflect the mirror back on ourselves and see the negative version of that as the black and white version of that. So black versus white, or white versus black. And we mirror image that onto ourselves and think that we must not be feeling those things because we don't understand or conceive what they're explaining that they're experiencing on the other side. So it's like, if I don't understand what they're going through, therefore there's something I'm missing out on. Instead of actually going, they're experiencing their particular thing, right? This is just the story. This is the story I'm telling myself, that I don't understand them and therefore I'm missing out. But actually, I don't understand them because I'm not them and I'm not in their shoes and I'm not going through the same thing that they're going through. I'm going through a different experience. And my experience is just as powerful and just as wonderful as anyone else. And for all the things I want other people to be, I want to be experiencing what they're experiencing. There are people out there that want to be experiencing what you're experiencing as well. And so just as much as you think you don't have, you do have. It's like, reflect that back. And so again, because of that fear and the negativity of the I'm not getting, it's like, yes, but all the things you're not getting, there are things that you are getting. And you can't see the things that you are getting when you're focused on the things that you're not getting. So you may also be thinking like there may be these old wounds around the self-worth and identity. And that's quite often that's come up from our past when we were children. We keep thinking, I want to be a child still. This is the interesting thing about the child work and shadow work and all those type of things. We're nurturing a child self, but we're not a child. We're an adult and we're moving forward into adulthood, but we still want to live like a child. We still want nurturing like a child. We still want someone to feed us. We still want someone to hold us and hug us and carry us and do all these things for us, but we're not children anymore. And so there's that part that wants to have us stay as a child because it's familiar and we know it and we think we want to go back to it. But the reality is we've been liberated from that state into adulthood where we get to choose what we want. And that's freeing. But to so many people, it's terrifying. So ask yourself, how can you, in these particular situations where you might feel that fear of, why do I have to do it on my own? I don't want to do it on my own. I want to do it with somebody else. I want somebody else to do it for me. I want someone else to change my nappy, like in that situation there, it's just having that kindness and that compassion within yourself and going, yeah, of course you don't want to make meals because you want somebody else to make them for you. That's natural and understandable, right? However, we get to choose what we put in it. We get to choose how to feed ourselves. We get to choose what ingredients to get. There's so many more opportunities that we get as an adult than we do as a child. So we forget what the restrictions are of being a child in a child state, and we instead need to remember what we gain as a result. So what would a compassionate and grounded version of me be saying in this position? What would an adult, wise mind, person who's fulfilled and feeling, a version of ourselves? What would that be? What would that be offering? That kind of like, I am fulfilled and I'm happy and I'm in the best place I've ever been. What advice would that person give? Question 3 was, what am I afraid will happen if I miss this opportunity or this trend or this path, etc.? And you may say, well, I'm going to fall behind, or I'm going to get forgotten, or I'm going to fail, or I'm never going to reach my full potential. I'll never get what I've been searching for, I wrote down for mine. Or but then I wrote down, but I don't even know what I'm searching for. So even if I'm looking for something and I've been trying to find this particular thing, how am I going to know if I found it if I don't know what I'm looking for? It might be right there already existing within me. And I actually, as I say that, I think that already is true, because everything you have is within you already. You already have everything you need within you, right? So what this reveals is that there may be underlying fear of being irrelevant, invisible, or not enough, or you may be attaching your value to hustle or visibility or constant action. So even getting to that next level down, you don't even know what you're valuing. You don't even know what you're looking for, because you're so busy looking for something that you don't know what you've got. So it's like that constant unsettled inability to be able to rest and relax, because we're always looking for what we think we want to look for, but we can't articulate it. And so if we're hitting frustration because we don't know what it is that we want, we just know it's something we want to feel, then it's like we're not going to know if we find it, because it's going to be based on a feeling, which is going to be relying on not something we choose to do, but something that just happens by chance. So ask yourself, where did I learn that my worth depends on keeping up? How am I giving myself this luck or chance that I'm going to feel worthy, or I'm going to feel like I'm enough, or I'm going to feel that I matter, or that I'm going to feel love, or whatever that thing is that you're going to feel? What is it that you've learned about yourself that tells yourself you already are those things? Where did I learn that my worth depends on keeping up? Or where did I learn that I'm not enough? Or where did I learn that I don't matter? Or where did I learn that I'm not lovable, etc.? It's like that would have been probably my childhood. And what evidence do I have that I am worthy, or that I do matter, or that I am lovable, or that I am important or valued, or all those type of things? Because those messages, when we say I am, it's coming from a positive state of, I have everything within me. I have all that I need, and that can lead to success, instead of going, I don't have, and I don't feel it. Because feelings are not facts. We've had this discussion before. Feelings are real and we feel them, but they're based on what our brain is telling us. So if we feel like we don't matter, it's because we don't have any evidence in our mind at the time that shows us that we do. And so we look for ways to find something that tells us that we do, instead of going within and going, what evidence do I have that says that I do matter? And you're like, okay, well, I already have this evidence, like my enough one, right? I might feel like I'm not enough, but that doesn't mean that I'm not. So when I'm feeling like I'm not enough and I stick to that negative feeling, it's the pain that is motivating me to groan and complain and stress and worry and get anxious and all those particular things, and have that fear grow, right? So it's the fear and the pain that's making me react the way I am. But if I flip it and go, but I am enough, and I have compassion for myself, and use it as a pleasure tool, even though fear is a bigger motivator, our pleasure can outweigh it, because you can go, yes, I am enough. I know I'm enough because I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I've got this story and I've got this and I've got this. And we pile up the evidence to make ourselves feel better. So, yeah. So flip that fear and prove it to yourself that you already are everything you need and you have it all within you. And question 4 was, what's truly aligned with my values and the season of life right now? And you may say, I'm not sure. And I don't know what I'm chasing. I don't know where I'm going. And so mine is, I don't know my why. I don't have a big enough why. I don't know what I'm doing. What this reveals is that you've actually left your core values. You're not even clear maybe with your core values of what you're trying to work on. So getting clear again, what is important to you? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? What lights you up inside? What helps you, your light brighten so that it is guiding you on that path of your own journey, rather than pressure. So what do I need more of and less of? You don't want to be thinking of constantly, well, I don't want. We want to be thinking, I want more of this, I want more of that, I want more of this. But if it's I want more of this and I can't, then that's going to be a pain thing that's going to drive us into constantly looping again. But if it's I want this, I'm compassionate, and I have this, and so I'm going to hold on to this for grim life because it's so important to me. They're the things we want to stay to. So what is it that we already have within us that we can hold on to and value? Or maybe it's time to pause and recalibrate, not start over. So sometimes we need to just actually strip back the expectations and ask ourselves, what would life look like to me? What would feel like truth to me? What is valuable to me? And it's because we want everyone else to value us and we want everyone else to give us the valuable things. But what is it that we give ourselves that is the true value and the truth? That when we're feeling all of that FOMO, it's all external and we can put it to rest and calm it and come within ourselves with true alignment and true self-love, I guess is the word, right? It's one of the words. That fulfillment inside us, so that we go, I am everything I need to be right now, and I'm right here, and I can do these things. And even though I can see that there's just things that I want to be doing, a shiny, everything like that, I know I am being true to my path, and I know I am doing what is important right now. Because I probably could throw away everything and go run off and do whatever it is that that person's doing, but would I really want to? So really just having that internal dialogue with ourselves. So remember, when you get answers that reveal problems, rephrase them to prompts, because the prompts are the things that help us remember, what is it that we're really getting stuck on here? What is it that we're really getting? Ask ourselves what questions. They're the best ones. What is it that you want? What are you worried about? What focus is being distracted here? And then when you get clear with that answer, then you can ask yourself, how? How can I get that? How can I feel more of that? How can I work towards something? So these are not telling you to judge yourself. They're telling you it's time to slow down, reflect, and realign. It's time to stop and go, yeah, I'm feeling FOMO, but what that's telling me is that I don't have blah, 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 and I need to get realigned with that again. Slow down, reflect. I am right where I need to be. And so it's okay to feel what you feel. Just because you see others moving fast, it doesn't mean you're behind. You're not late. You're right where you need to be. You're not missing out. You have all you need within you. You're on your path, and that's enough. Breathe. Connect to what matters to you. Trust your timing and know that you're doing better than you think. Know it. Know that you are better. Know that you are doing better. Know that you can be and are whatever you desire. That's within you. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. I always say that a lot about the thing. There's many things, but this is an important big thing, is knowing that everything exists within you. So the possibilities that you imagine are the possibilities that you've already thought about. So the fact that you've thought about them means they already exist. So tapping into that existence and bringing that feeling into you and going, if I have a thought of it, then I have a belief it can happen and I can make it happen if that's what I choose to do. And if I don't choose to do it, then there's a reason why I'm not choosing to do it, because I have a belief that I can't, or I have a belief that blah, blah, whatever the other beliefs are. But in the end, they're my beliefs. And if they're strong enough, good, positive ones, then they'll be drivers and they'll keep us focused to what we want. So keep your vision clear, know your purpose, know where you're going, and you're on the right track. So thank you for joining us today. There is my website if anyone wants to jump on and register for the emails to receive messages of any upcoming things that we've got on, or recordings and things like that. So we'll catch you later. Bye for now.